Why do I do this to myself? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, that'll have to do for the that'll have to do. That'll do, don't it? That'll do. This will be done at the end of the TBR. Hey guys, it's Abby, and today I'm going to be going through my August TBR, which as always is far too fucking big. Yay! So I'm going to start with the very obvious, just get straight into it. First up we have Kingdom of the Wicked by Landy. This is the next Skullduggery Pleasant book. I'm reading all of them for the Dead Famous read along, and yeah, what can I tell you about this? The very first book, I think this is 7? Don't quote me, but I think this is book 7. Is it 7? I think it's 7. The first book is about a young girl who discovers that magic is real. She lives in Ireland, she goes around with a skeleton detective and does all of that. And then it goes from there. That's the skeleton detective. Looking quite pleased, to be frank. Then, next up, Armageddon Out of Here. I won't be reading much of this. This is a collection of short stories by Landy in the same world. There are 2 stories in here, so it's going to be around... Ooh, that's a big one, nice. So it's going to be about 100 pages, roughly, is what I will be reading from this. I'm reading them chronologically as they slot in with the series itself. And then for the last very obvious one, War and Peace. Me and Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe are reading a chapter of this every day, 2 chapters on weekends. We're getting slowly through it, so by the end of August I'm hoping to be at page 831. I just picked one at random. But yeah, so those are the obvious ones. If you guys watch me, you know I'm doing the Dead Famous read along, and you know that I'm reading War and Peace. On to ones that are continuing on from last month. So first up, Prodigy by Marie Lu. This is the second book in the Legend trilogy. I started this on the 31st. I don't know why. The Legend trilogy is the standard YA dystopian. One person, this time it's the girl, from the very rich background discovers that everything's not quite as it seems, and one boy from the poor background is brought up to kind of like a middle ground with her, and they start fighting against the system. I don't know why I started on the 31st. A book that I started on the 1st and didn't finish is Labyrinth by Kate Mosse. I was intimidated by how big it is. So I don't think I will be finishing this month because if you saw the thumbnail, it's a big TBR. But I would like to just keep reading a few chapters. I think I'm just going to read a chapter a day just to keep myself within the story, and then if by some miracle I do get through my TBR, then this will be what I pick up. And already I have run out of room on the shelves. Fantastic. Okay, so then let's have a look. The Merry Shelley-a-thon, hosted by Caitlin from My Cheshire Rabbit, is going to be going on in August. First of all, go check it out. It's all about Frankenstein, all about Mary Shelley. Read it. You can read Frankenstein and fulfill every single one of the prompts. But I read Frankenstein earlier this year, so what I'm going to do is there is prompts for a book that you've been meaning to pick up, and a book by an author who was born in 1818, and a book set in the 1800s. Shut up, Caitlin, I'm a bad friend. I'm gonna read Wuthering Heights, and there, now you're no longer mad at me. We're fine. Yeah, so Wuthering Heights is one of Caitlin's absolute favourites, and she gifted me this copy. As you can see, I've tabbed it up. This was done when I was less into classics than I am now, and I was like, oh, I need the motivation. This should be fine. I am really looking forward to it. I know nothing about this. This is the wild, passionate story of intense and almost demonic love between Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff, a foundling adopted by Catherine's father. I know nothing about this. But I'm hoping that I'm really going to enjoy it, and yeah, we'll see. And I do recommend joining in the Merry Shelley-a-thon this month. I know that you'll be a little bit late to it, but it's something that you can definitely fit in your TBR. If you do have any classics, it's the perfect motivation to pick them up. So that's 2 readathons that I'm taking part in. For a 3rd readathon, well, readathon, that's a read-along. Shut up. And that is the Royal Readathon Sidekicks edition. This one is a lot of fun. I'm not going to go through the prompts. If you want to see them, the video will be linked down in the description below. But essentially, these are the books I'm reading. So you need a... It's not as fun if I don't mention the prompts, but I have to... Damn you. Where's me slip of paper? happy. I don't know what these link to, but the Royal Readathon sidekicks, it's a Disney related readathon. These are the sidekicks of our main characters and they have things linked to them. For example, one of the prompts is to read a book with a dragon in it. That's linked to Mushu. Hey, nice easy one for me to remember. And for me that's going to be Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. This was gifted to me by my lovely uncle Alex, who runs a fantastic page called On This Gay Day, where he gives you gay facts for every single day of the year. Check him out, check him out. And I don't know much about this, but on Goodreads it said that there was dragons in it. So, it's a fantasy set in Regency London, following the first African Sorcerer Royal and a young girl that he kind of picks up on the way. This is... ooh, okay, so this is about 370 pages long with tiny writing. Why is that so small? What is wrong with you people? Then for the prompt for comedy, I'm going to be reading Pyramids by Terry Pratchett. This is the next book along in the Discworld series in my bullet journal. I put Guards, thinking that that was the next one. It's not, that's book 8. I need to read book 7 first, so. I don't want to have to redo my entire, no, I'm not doing it, so we're just pretending. The TBR jar. It taunts me. Then for a prompt for a book with music in it, and I'm going to read this Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. This I don't know much about. Kate and August are heirs to a divided city. Kate wants to be ruthless, August wants to be human, and I think Kate is human and August is a monster, and there's music somehow. Not just for the fact that song is in the title, I think there is actually music in this somehow. So this should be fun. So yes, that should be good. I didn't say what Discworld is about because very British humour, fantasy world. It's a complete utter fucking mess. I love it. Next up is a cheesy book, and I'm pretty sure this was for Gus. I think, because he loves cheese. Regardless, I'm going to read Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices series. I have read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments. This one comes chronologically next, and I don't know if I'm keeping these books or not. So, one, I think they count as cheesy because if it's anything like the first 3 books, they are, dear God. But we're going to read this, we're going to see what it's like. This is a historical fantasy rather than an urban fantasy, so it's going to be different, and I can see if I like this specific style and just kind of feel out if I'm going to keep these books or not, because my TBR would be a lot shorter if I got rid of them. And do I really care? But then I bought the... But yeah, so this one's going to be on the TBR. This is Victorian London. We're following Tessa Gray. And if you don't know about the Shadowhunters, it's like magic where you put tattoos on yourself and then they fade and then you can use magic. Ta-da! Cool, so then we have a prompt for middle grade, and a prompt for a colourful cover, and a prompt for mythology, which is going to be The Throne of Fire by Riordan. This is the second book in the Kane Chronicles, the Egyptian mythology series by Riordan. You can guess what this one's about. And I've just realised as well that there is another prompt for death. And I'm going to be honest, let's be real, if there isn't a death in one of these, I'm going to be very surprised. We've done that one. And then one of the prompts is under 300 pages. Are you going to be nice to me? No. Are any of you going to be nice to me? No. So I don't have one for that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I want to say as well that I'm going to be taking part as much as I can in the All the World's a Page readathon, which is being co-hosted by Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe. There are so many prompts for this, and I can kind of squeeze quite a lot of these into the prompts, so that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to go through the prompts specifically because there's a lot of them, but yes, so I'm also doing that one, and it will also be linked down below. I'm having a very busy month. And then, on top of all of that, I also want to read 3 other books. I also want to read 3 other books. First up is Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. This was massively popular a little while ago, and this was gifted to me by Sam from Griff Reads, so thank you so much, Sam. And I was actually featured in her August Tbr video. I got to pick one of her books, so definitely go and check that out. This book is about a young black girl who, or young black woman I suppose, I don't actually know her age, I'm going to assume she's a woman, who babysits a white child for a white family, and she's taken them out to the supermarket one day, or the grocery store because it's American, and the security guard at the grocery store, which one not, assumes she's kidnapped the baby. it goes on from there. It talks about, obviously, racism, and it talks about white saviorism, which I think is going to be something that I can really benefit from as a white person myself. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting book. I also think it's going to be a difficult read. Oh, damn it, it's 303 pages. Oh, is it? That's the acknowledgements. How long are you? You are 305 pages long. God damn it, Kiley, read! 5 pages. 5 pages. Then, next up, I have No Place to Hide by Greenwood. This is a non-fiction book about Edward Snowden, the guy that released all of that information about the US government, public, and about him. Let's see, how long is this one? How long are you? 253 pages! The weirdest pick ever for Royal Readathon sidekicks is a non-fiction by Edward Snowden, but it fits. It sounds really interesting, so I'm really hoping it will be interesting, but we'll see. And then last off of my already set TBR is Smiler's Fair by Rebecca Levene, book 1 of the Hollow Gods. This is some sort of circus thing. Smiler's Fair, the great moving carnival where any pleasure can be had if you're willing to pay the price. They say all paths cross at Smiler's Fair, they say it'll change your life, and 5 people are about to discover how true that is. And it's got some mythology as well, I think. Euron, the moon god, died, but now he's reborn in the false king's son. So yeah, it sounds very interesting. I got this for like 20p in a charity shop many moons ago. There's a map. Basically, I've owned this for ages, and I either need to read it or get rid of it, and I want to try reading it. And we'll go from there. And now, for what I have been dreading, it's the TBR jar. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this because it's not really moving them around. So, last month, did not manage my TBR jar pick. I've not put it back in for this month. I'll put it back in afterwards, but I want to be able to read something different this month. Please be already on the TBR. No. No, I won't read it. It's Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. That book is 500 plus pages long. I know for a fact that if I put that on my TBR, it will not be read. Like, there's no point pretending, like, oh, I'll put it on, see if I can get it. I won't read it. So, I may as well go for another one. Which I'm aware is kind of cheating, but like, I physically, like, there's no point even writing it in the bullet journal because it will not be read. So, let's see. Oh, okay, so That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnson. Let me go get that. That is a lot more reasonable than Air of Fire. I mean, I still don't think that I'll read it, but it's at least something I can pretend that I will read. So, That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. This was gifted to me by Caitlin from Mad Cheshire Rabbit, who hosts the Mary Shelley-a-thon. Where is that? The Mary Shelley-a-thon. This was on my TBR because the cover was pretty, and she bought it for me because the cover was pretty. Genetically arranged matchmaking. Ooh, so that'll be what the genes is for. A politically advantageous marriage and a line of duty, but you get one summer of freedom. Okay, interesting. How big is this? Preamble? What do you mean preamble? What is a preamble? How does one preamble at the end of a book? I don't know. Okay, interesting. It's 327 pages long. Oh, with some extra stuff at the end to play about with, which is interesting. So yeah, 340 pages just to round it up just in case. I know that I said I wasn't adding Air of Fire on because I wouldn't read it. I truthfully don't think I'll be able to get to this either, but we'll see. At least this is actually reasonable. At least this is something I could pick up and finish. Unlike Air of Fire, which I can tell you 100% would not be read this month. So yes, I'm cheating, but like, do you want me to read the book or not? Also, it's my jar, piss off. That is my TBR jar pick. And then one final thing to mention is that the Buzzwordathon for this month, which I forgot to mention last month, but I'm remembering this month, the prompt this month is time. Jesus Christ, this TBR is very big. Go! Thank you. The prompt this month is time. I'm reading Clockwork Angel, so that's going to be my time one. I'm not putting another book on this TBR. No. Look at it! So those are my books. I'm putting the Air of Fire one back in the thing. That would be fine if I was like having a small TBR month. That is not, this is... This is not the month. This is not the month to add a 500-page book onto my TBR that I don't want to read. So, no. But yes, this is my TBR for this month. I'm pretty interested. Put a purple heart down below in the comments if you've managed to get this far into the video. Why? It's a long one, but thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this and if you want to see how I do with these books over the next month, then please do hit like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I have to put these in a giant stack in my room. These are, that's gonna, I live with my parents. Oh, pray for me! Okay, but literally. The fuck is that? Look at it. Fuck's sake, man.